Yeah. They ain't believe me when I told them crypto was the future. Now they trying to get in, but it's too late. We've been stacking marbles since day one. No banks, no middlemen, just power moves. Let's get it. Yeah.
Okay, folks, this is definitely not how it's meant to be. It wasn't meant to be like this, Jerome. What the hell, bro? Look what you've done. Anyway, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show. Sorry for being a little bit on the late side, just getting some stuff lined up. But, yeah, not what we were expecting, I think, is the fair assumption of exactly where we sit right now. It is going to absolute shit. Market taking a gigantic dump, and it's showing no signs. I mean, seriously showing no signs of stopping right now. But it's not all bad. It's not all bad. The question, therefore, is how bad is it going to get, though? And why are we seeing such a crazy kind of dump in the market? Donald Trump said we were going to love it. I'm tired of winning, Donald. Donald, I'm tired of winning so much. Anyway, you can either decide to be involved in it or you can decide not to be involved in it. That's kind of where I get to. But there is lots to break down, get into, talk about nuclear submarines, fudged reports, God knows what else is going down. It's all getting a bit crazy. But anyway, we're going to try and get into all of it in tonight's live stream. Understand what the frick is going on. Is it going to get bad? Or more importantly, should we be buying more Bitcoin or cryptocurrency? I mean, who the hell knows? All of that, like we said, in tonight's live stream. So go ahead, hit the like and subscribe button if you're brand new to the channel as well. Don't forget we break down the markets every single day, trying to bring you the latest and greatest news so that you are not panicking. Might be time to start panicking a little bit. Oh, well. No, I think it's fine, by the way. I think it's fine. So, yeah, anyway, we'll get into all of what's going on, and we will certainly get into the nuts and bolts of what the hell is happening. So, yeah, we will see. It is going to be fun, I'm sure. But anyway, let's say hello to a few people, and then we're going to get into a little bit more detail. We're going to start, as always, with some pretty big macro stuff going on. But 37 is going on for Mr. Clem. What's going on? Stu's here. Mills is here. Good to see you. RPM's welcome here. Beams in the building. Swamp, Tomato. I mean, the good news is we made it to Friday. That's always a good start, isn't it? That is a good start. Curtis here. Vern's here. Good to see you, man. AJ, what's going on? Daniel Stewart says institutions will set all to what will sell all to get back in low prices. Great opportunity for us all. Probably very true as well. So yeah, welcome to you as well, and welcome to everybody tuned in as always. Good to have you. And then welcome to the TikTok crew. Hey, yo, TikTok. Crypto Box is here. Joseph's here. Luke, what's going on, buddy? Welcome to MFY Studios in the building. YUWA, what's going on? Thanks for the follow as well. Appreciate that. And yeah, make sure you are tapping that screen. You're locking it in. You're dialed in because it's the only way we're going up. As if we all come together, sit and hold our hands and sing Kumbaya. And hope there actually is a Jesus, and I'm going to be fine. Right, anyway, Nadar, good to see you, man. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Right, here we go, then. Not quite what we were anticipating, I think. Not quite what we were anticipating. There you go. There is the old market. There is the complete and utter freaking disaster that has been the last 2 days. It has been an absolute shit show. There is no other way of describing it. And we could sit here and be like, oh, well, it's kind of okay, and don't worry about it. Let's all sing Kumbaya. Oh, no. Kumbaya is going to save you now, baby. You better hope the world ends before that. $800 million in long liquidations. It is another complete shit show out there. The question is why and what's really going on and should we be worried and all the rest of it, which we'll sort of try and get down as we sort of walk through. But you can see here, look, $800 million of longs getting twatted is a good description of it. But anyway, there we go. And there's lots of macro data that's kind of pulling through, lots of stuff that we need to be aware of. But is it the end of the bull market? Is the bull market finished? I don't think so. And I'll sort of try and explain a little bit as to why I don't think so over the course of the next hour. JP's here. Welcome. Jeff, what's going on? Good to see you, man. What market will flip so fast? Unreal Design. You know it better than I do. You know it better than I do. Curtis says, they're not sure why they make up. What? Make us delete rather than edit. It's ridiculous. Oh, you mean in the comments? Jobs report took a dump, Jerome. Well, this is the crazy part. The jobs report came in wild. The revisions were terrible, which basically means that Jerome Powell hasn't been doing his job for the last 2 months, which is when you get into the craziest and probably the worst news you could have got, which is breaking news right now. And the breaking news is this. 𝗥𝗲𝗹𝘁𝗲𝗱 has literally left the Fed. Everyone's like, what the fuck has happened here? This is kind of crazy news right now. So you've gone from like, oh, yeah, don't worry. Bear in mind, this goes back further. And this is kind of where we need to get to and get stuck into a little bit of this. This actually goes back further than this most recent Fed decision. I'll tell you how bad it is, by the way. Let's tell you how bad it is. It's a 91% chance that they are going to cut rates in September. Here's the problem. Jerome Powell is too late to the rate cuts. He is too late. And he's too late because he's been led on misguided information. And actually now what's happening is there is a strategic risk to the labor market in the US, which they didn't think they had until today when they've been fiddling the numbers. Like, I mean, it is if somebody, and by the way, here's just my predictions. Where's she? Where's 𝗥𝗲𝗹𝘁𝗲𝗱? My predictions, by the way, is 𝗥𝗲𝗹𝗁 is the first. There's no way Jerome Powell gets through this. No way on this freaking planet he keeps his job. Absolutely no way. Because again, don't forget, what are the dual mandate that he talks about a lot? The dual mandate that the Fed is specific to looking after inflation to a target of 2% and the healthy jobs market. Well, those markets got absolutely shit on today. Like, totally destroyed today. Totally destroyed today. And I think that's where you've got this real nervousness in the market right now. Take a look at the 15-minute chart here. And let me just turn you around TikTok so you can see it. So what you've got here is some pretty interesting data coming in. The markets was kind of all right. We saw this big wick down on the back of, you know, the Fed, well, just the dump last night, not even the Fed. The Fed decision was the day before. So we saw this kind of just dump down last night, like this complete like push down, liquidation event, like lots of longs getting smashed to pieces. We sort of rally back up again and we're like, okay, let's pick ourselves up. It's going to be fine. Like, it's going to be fine. Dust ourselves off and don't panic too much. And then we got to kind of here and everything was kind of trending along. Okay, right, everything's fine. We then just got this massive, like almighty kind of move down when the jobs market report hit. Because the minute the jobs market came out, it was like, oh my God, like, what the hell? Like, there's 72,000 jobs. That's a terrible number, like terrible number. The jobs report came in, so the market totally didn't like it at all and really did not like this. But then it was kind of like, oh, well, actually, the fact that the jobs claims expectations has come down as well, it's kind of fine, right? It's neutral, markets go back up a little bit. Everyone's a bit like, all right, stop freaking out. Then the revisions came on top of that, which nobody expected, which actually revised down the previous 2 months of job data, taking down over 280,000 jobs. This is what you've seen now. Well, basically, what does it mean, though? It means the Fed has to cut rates, and it means the Fed's too late. It means there is a real concern on the labor market that actually you've got slowing economy, a slowing labor market. And look, cutting rates and all the rest of it doesn't necessarily mean that you stop inflation. What it means, though, is that it is safe to say the Fed is too late. They have not cut rates when they should have done. The debate, therefore, becomes a little bit further than that. Was it a political statement that Jerome Powell didn't do it? So now what you've got is a concern by, like, everyone. Bond markets, treasury markets, the stock market is as well. Like, the S&P just completely obliterated itself. Look at this. Like, look at this. This is fucking wild. It's like a meme coin. Like, taking a massive hit. The DXY collapsing. So the dollar is weakening again. You've got things like gold, which obviously you would expect. People are like, holy shit, I need to buy gold. Like, this is the only sensible way. Now, this is where people have got it wrong because they should be going, oh, we should be way buying Bitcoin because it's going to be fine. This all fixes it. Bitcoin fixes this root problem. But you've got the Russell collapsing right now, getting back to kind of early June levels, really uncertain in the market now, real concerns in the market. And then obviously just this continuation of massive liquidations. And unfortunately, by the way, I don't think it's over. I don't think it's over. Now, this is where we get to the point where you can kind of say, well, I'm going to try and front run this market. I'm going to sell everything. I think it's going lower. Or you just kind of go, well, fuck it, whatever. I'm in it for the ride, baby. just before everyone totally freaks out and thinks, oh my God, 2bit's like the most bearish it's ever been, there is one thing that we are, well, two things really that we are watching for now as a macro sentiment in this, which is one, what do jobs loss look like? So if you get a spike in job loss tomorrow, we might be fucked here. Like generally we might be absolutely on our asses. So if you get a spike in jobless claims, that's going to be one. The second one will be, what is Jerome Powell going to do? Are the Fed going to cut it? This is going to end up being something a little bit more interesting, I think, than yeah, we will see what this plays out. The fact she's sent to President Trump is going to be very, very interesting. And go through that. This is actually a pretty big deal, the fact that she has gone and kind of out of place through. So, yeah. So, do you think we will retest 100,000 in August? I don't think it'll come that far, if I'm dead honest. It is going to depend on the data that comes through. As much as Jerome Powell says, well, it depends on the data. Like, it really depends on the data now. Because basically what you've had is fraudulent fucking data. This is the crazy part about it. This is the bit no one's talking about. It's fraudulent data to the sum of 270,000 jobs that's come through. Now, what Jerome Powell will do is go, we've just been using the data and that's how we're making our decision. The reality here is, though, it is like the biggest deal in the world. The fact that President Trump officially has announced that this woman is getting fired like straight away is pretty crazy. There was a major mistake made by them. 250,000 jobs downward in the prior 2 months. Similar things happened in the first part of the year. Always to the negative. The economy is booming under Trump, despite a Fed that always plays game. This time with interest rates when they're lower, it's them twice. So basically what Trump's saying is that this is a deliberate ploy to undermine him. Now, look, there's going to be a bit more data that comes, that's going to be coming through and sort of allowing us to get to a little bit more of a clear perspective when it comes to this. But yeah, what it stands and what it screams is it has been fiddled, and it's not good news. 3 FOMC meetings left this year. Well, here's the crazy thing, RPM, right? And if you think about this, we were talking about this yesterday. We've gone from a not a chance rate cut in September, which obviously everyone was a bit like, whoa, holy crap, like we are definitely expecting a rate cut in September, to an expectation that this could end up being a double rate cut. We could literally get 50 basis points cut in September. You could then get, look at this, you then get another cut in October, which is insane. Like, they've got to move. Now, I think if the markets continue to dump, the housing market's going to really, really, really feel this. And you've then got another 2 months now with more data to come out. So you've got more jobs data to come out. You've got another CPI to come out. You've got another PPE to come out. Like, all sorts of crazy data. The reality is that they are pricing in, get this, right? Get ready to kind of have your, and this will just dead quickly why I flip back to crypto and say, I am not worried at all. I know people feel uncomfortable, and I know people are like, holy shit, like I should have sold the top 10,000. I did it again. I've round tripped my bags, blah, 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 blah. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't know financial advice, and I'm not an economist. What I do have is logic and reason. And I think the fact that we are even looking at a potential 1% rate cut by the end of the year is freaking crazy. And so if we 1% rate cut, then there is a concern on recession. We do need to be mindful of that. There is a concern that the labor market is actually looking pretty fragile, but at the same time, therefore, risk assets with a 3.5% interest rate going to the end of the year look like, and dare I even say this, dare I even say it, the bull market may go into 2026, and we never expected that. So today has been an absolute catastrophic shit show, and that's left us where we are. That is left us where they are. So we will see how many people are going to get fired, but I think it's going to be few. After Trump report about crypto BTC will jump, I think, yeah, look, I think there's some positive things in the market to understand. Sean, what's going on, pal? Good to see you, man. No, Rick, no, one time it's the total opposite. It is the total opposite. Everyone's freaked out because the jobs market came in terrible, right? The US jobs market came in terrible. So everyone's gone. The economy's slowing. The jobs market's garbage. But actually, when you look at it, you've got really bad jobs markets, but you've got actually declining jobless claims. So you've got like a double bit. If you get sort of spike in jobless claims and reduction in jobs, basically what you're saying is the economy's really struggling. And that's when you kind of get into this, well, they can't cut interest rates because by cutting interest rates, it's not going to work. The other reason they're doing it is to cut mortgage rates and bring those down. This is the complete opposite. This is like a gigantic king balls up. like a really bad balls up. We've gone from no rate cuts. Everything's kind of fine. Data looks particularly strong in the US markets too. It is a fucking disaster, and we need to probably do something pretty quick, which is just how insane this is for 24 hours. So do I think we get an emergency rate cut? No, like let's just give some perspective to where we're in the markets. You've got 1.5% move down in the S&P 500. Now, if we were to get like another, I mean, what is tomorrow? Is jobless claims tomorrow? I can't remember. I can't remember, people. Friday. So you got what day is it today? Shit, it's Friday today. Okay, right, fine. God, I don't know what day of the week is. So yeah, so we've had all the disastrous stuff. So jobless claims is next Thursday, which is then probably going to give us an indication as to what does that look like week over week, which then tells us a little bit about what's coming and maybe how that kind of plays out furthermore than that. So overall, though, an action is bad news. Is bad news, in my opinion. Long term, probably okay. Good news. Short term, very painful news. Very painful news. Do you know when the market will be up? Now, Bitcoin did send me a message actually, and they were like, "Hey, we're just going to dump a little bit further, but don't worry. 3:30 in the morning, it's going green, baby." Honestly, I'm being completely sarcastic. I have no idea. I think at the minute, I don't see anything other than a little bit more pain. I mean, if you sort of take where BTC, just as an example, we'll put it on 12-hour chart. It might give us a little bit more indication as to where this market's going to go. We could retest 112, and that wouldn't be unusual. That absolutely would not be unusual. You're looking for some level of consolidation round at that point. If you take a bit more of a macro statement and you said, well, okay, well, what does the fib tell us, and where does that sort of get us to go to? You fib the bottom from the previous moves to sort of give us an idea where that gets to right now. Then you kind of get to this low range of around 110. I don't necessarily think we go that low, by the way. I don't actually think we go that low, but I definitely think that we could see it go a little bit lower than that. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. So yeah. So yeah, so that's where we could go. That's where we could go. So yeah, Bitcoin feeling very fragile right now. And like I said, this is probably where I'm looking at as its first initial point, 112. Then we probably come down to a stronger support at 110. So yeah, pack your freaking passport, baby, because it's about to get pretty crazy pretty quick. But, and again, this is always worth noting, by the way, if you've only been in this market maybe once, maybe it's the first time you've ever gone through a bull market, this happens. Like, it's just life. It is the unfortunate nature of investing in this market. 2017, we saw exactly the same. 2021, we saw exactly the same. You can look at this in historical data. You can look at it in historics, actually. Look, let me just show you a little bit. There you go, TikTok. So back here in, sorry, let me go to the daily charts to give you the 2021 synopsis as to where we came through, which is all the way back here, by the way. So this is the 2021 market. I mean, look at this. Everyone completely panicking. Even off the highs that we got, you see corrections coming in. You see a push down off this kind of 65,000 range. You know, we wicked all the way down over 28% before then rallying once again to break a new time high. So these things kind of happen. This is just life. It is exactly the markets we choose to invest in. But even the S&P right now is 1.63% down. So as much as it doesn't feel particularly great, you know what they always say, whenever the market is fearful, that is your moment in time to be greedy. Now, again, my point here is that, one, I'm not a financial advisor, so I think that is worthwhile noting. The second point is that actually, sometimes it's better just to wait. That's my view. And I think that's exactly what I'm doing. I talked to you guys last night, and I said, look, I've got some capital to deploy into this market. I'm waiting. We discussed a couple of key coins. I actually had to add some margin to a couple of my trades so I didn't get liquidated today. So I actually added some margin to my Bitcoin long, which feels fine. I actually did get liquidated on my XRP, which was a little bit disappointing. I did actually add margin to that to try and avoid it, but anyway, I got liquidated on that. It is what it is. What we'll try and do is maybe time a little bit of a bottom. So, you know, where we'll be looking to potentially put that trade on 112, potentially could be a sign. Again, you just got to keep close to what happens with this market. But again, that is where we're going to get to. So, yeah, more liquidity at 115 and 117, then lower. Yeah, I mean, that's true, but that implies we'd go back up from where we are, which means we need to find the bottom. And I don't necessarily think that we've found the bottom yet. That's the problem. That's the problem. I think the true data and the true sentiment of everything that's kind of happened is only just sort of flowing through as to where we get to. So I think, unfortunately, we are going to see a little bit more downside. But yeah, Powell can keep playing the games, and I will keep stacking because they're going to cut rates sooner or later. Yeah, 100% September. There's no way they don't cut rates. No way on this freaking earth they do not cut rates in September. Like, not a chance. To be how does BTCD looking after the heat map? Well, BTC dominance is actually up once again. Excuse me. It's down 3%. So Bitcoin dominance collapsing. Really collapsing, actually, which again can sometimes be good news. XRP, what is the price range on that? Let's take a quick look. XRP's actually held up, as have altcoins. Think about this, by the way. Bitcoin's done 2%. You got altcoins that have done 5%. We would normally see 10% on altcoins easily. XRP down 1%. XRP's like, well, you guys do whatever you guys do. I don't really care. I think XRP is at a floor, did wick to the floor. So as long as BTC doesn't push down, I think 288 was probably the low. If it comes down a little bit further, 273 maybe is a price range. But right now, for me, XRP hit the low of 288. And I don't know necessarily whether that's going to come down any lower than what it is right now. So again, if we see the market dump a little bit further, you may well see that come down. So if you guys want to do like a little bit of where do we think price is going to come to, then yeah, let me know. And we can kind of do that in a minute. So let's just really quickly run through these couple of other bits and we'll come back to the charts and probably stick with a little bit more of a TA view as to kind of what's going on. That might support our emotional state right now. What historically does tell us is August is generally a good month for us though. So this could just be a really big flush out at the start of the market. Jobs data has shocked a lot of people. Historically, August tends to be very positive with an average around 36% that we see it move up. Now, we'll take a look at August in itself over the course of at least the last couple of years to understand what that looked like. That might give us an income, an indecent pot. And again, what you see though, again, we talked about this. I actually put a video out this morning. So if you saw it, well done. This kind of keeps you dialed in and up to date on what's going on in the market. You can see just exactly how this kind of plays out. And we are breaking out of the trend. And we could even see this downtrend, this consistent uptrend, which on the macro is still very much playing out, which is the bear market of down here of the kind of early part of the year. So entire week of Bitcoin mapped out perfectly on Sunday. When you expect red candles, you no longer fear the candle. And we've kind of seen exactly where that looks like. Feels like we're playing that out. Like I said, this is the big one. The fact that Adriana de Kungler has left the Fed and that basically this woman's going to get fired. Erika McCantataf, or what the hell she's called, she's going to get fired as well. So they're all pretty big news. Traders are expecting now 2 rate cuts. I think it's going to be bigger. I think they could be 250 basis points rate cut, which could be pretty wild. And like I said, lots of data on the US economy, etc. that's all started playing through. So pretty interesting. Pretty crazy day, actually, when you think about it. We don't generally sort of see markets like this, but yeah, kind of wild. Kind of wild. Right. Tim Silver position up at 500, 199, 10x. It sucked to watch it fall from 366. Yeah, painful. Painful. But it is the life, unfortunately. Our BlackRock customers buying ETFs today. Well, Tomato Pete, let's, what do you think? What do you think? By the way, $1.11 trillion got wiped out of the stock market. And the other thing, by the way, don't forget, is Trump's moved submarines near Russia because he thinks like the crazy person that used to run Russia is going to like nuke everyone as well, which probably doesn't help in a lot of situations. You know, if you're trying to ease global tensions, threatening to nuke the US is probably not the best idea to do that. But, you know, I think it's a little bit of argy-bargy. It's a little bit of look at my, size of my leg or something. I don't know what the hell they want, but that doesn't help settle any nerves, does it? Doesn't help sell. So let me ask the chat. Come on, chat. What do we think happened in the world of the ETFs? So we've seen massive market dumps. Panic has set in. Everyone thinks the bull market's over. Stocks are crashing. Everything's going to freaking zero. What do we think's happened to Bitcoin ETFs today? Did they buy or have they panic sold like everybody else? Bear in mind, those markets are now closed until Monday. Let me know. Let me know in the chat. Come on, chat. I want to see if you put buy or you put sold. I want to know. Let's see what you guys think, and I'm going to show you. Kim, the Ethereum price. Yeah, Ethereum's taking a bit of a hit right now, but still macro bullish, and I'll talk about the price in just a second. If you guys want me to have a look at some prices, let me know which coins you want me to take a look at. Advanced Pieces, Hungry Hippos eating those ETFs. You bet it, baby. They bought a whopping, not a lot, by the way, but they still bought today 158 Bitcoin to iShares, 621 to Fidelity, 500 into ARK21. The actual ETF inflows will be a positive on the back of the biggest volume we've seen all week, $6.34 freaking billion. So you might say this was designed. You might say maybe it's all part of the bigger plan. You might say, well, continuously when these dumps come in, that they continue to stack their bags, and that absolutely is true. So very interesting. Like I said, I'm working on something to break to you guys, specifically when it comes to BlackRock and to exactly. Adam says it's a bear market. Adam, you've missed an E out of market, and I don't think it is. I don't think it is. Remember, it's 2%. Don't stress that. It just feels like it's about 20% because the numbers are so big. Remember, even if you take the macro sentiment of where we get with Bitcoin, and I will cast your minds back. Everyone come back with me. We're going to go back in time. We're going back in time, baby, to the early part of July. It's the 1st of July. We're super excited. The markets feel okay. We're like, oh, we just kind of had a bit of a shakeout, a bit of a dump. We went from 108. We panicked a little bit. We're at 105. We're feeling nervous. We're a little bit like, man, I wish I'd sold. Kaboom! Within 2 weeks, we're breaking a new all-time high. This is the bull market, baby. This is exactly what happens. So you either enjoy it or you don't trade these markets. That's what I get to anyway. So the kind of fact here is that a lot of institutional money is still flowing into the markets. We actually had some pretty big announcements of companies stacking both Bitcoin and Ethereum, and likewise other numbers as well. And it's really obvious to see. And again, you could argue and say, well, it's deliberate, it's by design, and it absolutely is, by the way. And anyone who tells you otherwise is a liar. And I've been talking about this all week. What will market makers be doing right now if they can? If they can take the opportunity to absolutely crush people that want to get into this market, then you better 100% believe they're going to do it. They're going to do it. So that is exactly what we're doing. Again, I bring you back to this chart. Bear in mind, we were dumping our absolute backside off yesterday. Long-term holders sold about 1.8 Bitcoin. As a whole, I mean, it's a difficult number to kind of manage in its entirety, but that's kind of where you get to. And very much there is not the greatest amount to sell. People are just like, nah, man, I'm not selling this dip. Not a chance, baby. But, and we haven't looked at this for a while. What the hell is going on up there? Absolute giant choppers. What you can get into a little bit more here is that when you start looking in some of these bigger wallets, you will actually see that some of them, once again, were continuing to stack their bags. For example, the wallet number 23 had 500 Bitcoin that they decided today they were going to buy. So, you know, again, part of the game. 1 second, everybody, just because people seem to be looking in and it's all getting a bit weird. Maybe they're fans. I think some people want autographs. No autographs today, baby. The market's terrible. We're not doing autograph signings. Again, you see a accumulation of Bitcoin going in. We're seeing a little bit of outflows as you would expect, but actually overall sentiment feels like they are buying Bitcoin. My slippers are in the way. Remember, people, get slippers. It's definitely worth it. Sorry, everybody. I know TikTok, you're having to see that, but so yeah. Send some like, guys. What's going on, Punky? Let's go, baby. I appreciate it. Yeah, we got like 40 odd people here. We got like 105 people on YouTube as well. Everybody is panicking about the market, but they don't need to. Well, I mean, do a little bit. I applied the correct nuance. What's going on, Stardog? Erasmus here as well. Good to see you guys. All of the bears coming out to say they told me so. I'm kidding. They are dipping to buy in more low price. Absolutely. Zebek, I mean, I can't imagine it's outperforming the markets. And it's not. It's down 4%. 4.8. Man, I looked at this at like 5.8 and I was like, oh, maybe I should sell Zebek and get out of it. And I didn't. And I probably should have done. You'd be hard pressed to find anything that's green today. I mean, Pump Fun, baby. That's doing well today. Gold. That's about where you get to. So, yeah. So, let's break down a couple of coins. Let's get into a little bit of what you guys want to talk about. Maybe you're in some positions. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're thinking about whether I should be trading. Let's take a look at some market structures. We've done the news. We've done all the boring stuff. The market's cooked. The Fed Reserve report is a disaster. The jobs market is completely and utterly really on its arse. And Jerome Powell is late. He was late going into and he's late coming out of. Fact. That is non-debatable, non-discussionable. And he's already had one of his members leave. Maybe it's not the first one as well. So, the collapse has begun, Erasmo. It's like a last. Yeah, I mean, that's true one time. The last big garage sale. Yeah, could be true. So, we've done Bitcoin. We kind of feel like we know where Bitcoin's going to go. Let's talk about Ethereum, right? Let's talk about some Ethereum. charting and news. Now, interesting, and this is why people, I think anyway, this is why people have started to come into this channel versus going to other people, because we get it absolutely nailed on when we come to our technicals. If, by the way, I was going to expand this yellow box, and I haven't done it, by the way, you can see it. It's here. It's exactly where we left it yesterday. We expand our yellow box, and what we get, and you might say, too, but you just manipulated that. Okay, let's put it back. So the yellow box line is at 3502. Let's expand it off to 3502. Guess what? We hit the bottom of the wick, which is key price zone for Ethereum. So what you'd argue here on Ethereum is, yes, we've come down. We're retesting a key area. Hold on, TikTok. There you go. We are retesting a key area, by the way, of price volatility when it comes to Ethereum. So this is no surprise. Unfortunately, Ethereum is not what's the word I'm looking for? Like, not adverse to these markets. They unfortunately are, again, attacked, or they are attached to it. What the difference is, though, is you've seen large-scale accumulation on ETH. ETH crazy whales have been buying nearly 800,000 Ethereum today, 2.89 billion, and that's been accumulated over the last week or so. So I actually think Ethereum feels stronger than most, particularly when you start playing out this key area here that we're going to be keeping an eye on what's going on with the ETH. And it feels like maybe the market is in. Maybe the bottom's here. We'll have to see. But you can see there, look, Ethereum came down. It's this key area, that price range we had, and it's bounced. Also, if you see this big green, like this big green bit here, basically taking the momentum of the price action, telling us sort of where we're going to, and more importantly, how this all sort of playing out. What we can still say and define is that momentum is still uptrend when it comes to both, Ethereum and Bitcoin and all the rest of it. Yes, the market's down. Momentum trend is up there. So you kind of go, okay, well, cool. So if let's take Ethereum on the 4 hour, by the way, we are just starting to see a little bit of a bounce. Well, let's argue and say, well, what does that look like? Where is Ethereum going to bounce? Let's take the top. Let's call this, let's take the previous bottom here on our way up. That probably gives us a little bit more of a macro side of view. You're looking at a 3592 is the price we want to see a breakout above. So if ETH can start to push back up, this would bring us in line with a very big key strong level of support. Again, you can sort of see this back here where this big support range is here. And likewise, you can see it where it became here, where it was resistance. So this is going to be a key level for us. The 382 Fibonacci at 3592 on ETH. You are looking for that break above that. Now, what we might get is a push back up and a retest of that range. If we don't, then you're probably going to see this come back down. In my opinion, you'll retest the top range of this, which is 3,500. If we were to see that break, our next point, you'd be looking at 3,400. That's kind of where I get to with Ethereum. I personally, however, now think maybe ETH gets a bit of a rally. By the way, Tom Lee's still coming in today saying that he's still very optimistic about where ETH is going to go. We saw crazy accumulation levels. People buy more Ethereum than we've ever seen. ETH ETFs buying pretty strongly as well. Sharpening Gaming bought loads yesterday. Lots of good news stories when it comes to ETH. So remember, if you want me to take a look at some coins, then we'll do it. Look at ETH on the 2-day. Oh man, you guys all have some crazy time frames on your charts. Like, add a custom interval on the 2-day. Who the hell trades the 2-day? Well, it just looks as bad as that. Looks as bad as the daily. But yeah, again, hitting that range that we're talking about. So I'm not stressing it, right? I'm not stressing it. They're the numbers I'm looking at. 35 starting point, 34 if it gets a little bit spicier when it comes to ETH on that. So yeah, good news. Pete, I'm sure you know the green bit by now. Green bit, is that the technical term? Yeah. Did I say green bit? Like, come on, baby. You know what we do in this channel. It's all about the green bits. All about the green picks. I think this is where Bitcoin holders are selling to move to ETH. Erasmo, maybe. Yeah, we could see some rotation of capital. What I do know, though, by the way, and if anyone debates this is the 2-bit pump happening right now at 9 o'clock because of the community coming in fresh, keeping things moving, tapping that screen, baby. And don't forget, hitting that thumbs up because that is absolutely supporting it. If you want to see this price go up, you know what to do. Right, Poman needs to drop a whale. You got a proper chair yet? No, poor man, I haven't. I need to order one, actually. I'm sorry, bro. I've actually let you down. Thank you for the 10. I appreciate it. Hey, thanks for the follows, everybody. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I use 6-hour charts mostly. Garda, I'll do XRP now. I use 3 and the 15 minutes to trade. Fair play. Fair play. So that's Bitcoin, that's Ethereum. Let's do Solana, then we're going to come in and do XRP, all right? So, Solana. Oh, Solana, what the hell, bro? What the hell? Remember, when markets dump, no one trades meme coins. It's not true at all, is it? Everyone trades meme coins. It all gets a bit crazy. But Solana broke that support line. Where are we going with Sol? I actually think you're going to see this come down a little bit further. Unfortunately, it's not what you all want to hear. It is not what you all hear. We're probably going to come down and retest this line. 160 was where I would look at a Solana retest on. Bringing us back to this key area that we got here back in July, or the earlier part in July, by the way. So a couple of weeks back, which was basically the start of this move. And actually, when you look at most macro data, when you talk Bitcoin, talk Ethereum, talk all of this kind of stuff, this is kind of where you're getting to in terms of this actual move, and more importantly, how this is sort of all playing out. If we were to lose 160, which feels unlikely given the current situation, then I would argue you're going to see this little range here, 153. It's not the biggest difference, but it certainly could support maybe a move on there. 158, that's where Justin's going. So I think Sol's going to push down a little bit further. It's down 5%, one of the bigger ones. However, the move up with Solana was more aggressive, but it has lost that range. We were hoping it was going to get in there. You got an inverse head and shoulders pattern playing out on Sol as well. So, you know, worth thinking about as where this kind of is going to go, and more importantly, kind of how this plays out. So yeah, Sol looking a little bit painful. We sort of touched on XRP. I actually think XRP looks like one of the stronger altcoins out there. Probably has a slightly better floor. It feels like, you know, the XRP army's been through this kind of stuff before. So absolutely sort of playing out. Again, what we probably need to see is XRP feels like it bottomed there at 290. Wants to continue back up, where you're going to see some real price resistance. 301 feels like a solid resistance level. So break above 3, retest 301 is definitely sort of where you're looking at on XRP as a potential rejection zone. If you were to break above 301, you could play the momentum breakout on this one. 305 would be your next target. So just to give you a bit of a flavor, that would be kind of where you'd be looking at as a push up at 301. 305 then is a continuation of where we wicked to and got rejected, which again is a big support line here. And obviously at this range here as well. So I think right now XRP needs to break 301. You get a push over 301, you're probably not in a bad shape to retest that. Broader market needs to come to us. Bitcoin is trying to rally back just a little bit. So yeah, that's where we get to. ADA is just screwed and going to zero. So I'm kidding. I'm kidding, by the way. If you're all invested in Cardano, I'm only winding you up. Don't worry about it. Got my crown. See, poor man's just coming in. He's fresh as number one. It's gone on 420. Good to see you, pal. Joe Bro says, smashing the 2-bit crypto Litecoin when you see the thumbs up and it's pumping. Let's go, Joe Bro, you massive legend. Appreciate it. Lauren Babs here. Curtis says, Star, you now have to donate. No one has to donate. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Guys, if you want me to take a look at some coins, you want me to give a view, by the way, not financial advice. I'm just kind of giving you my opinion, maybe break down some technicals. Macro stuff for anyone who's just joining, by the way, is really poor jobs market, driven by 2 months of revisions to the sum of negative 258,000 jobs, which basically indicates the labor market is slowing, the economy isn't as good as they think it is, and Jerome Powell should have cut rates probably twice already and hasn't. And he hasn't because of those figures that were wrong. Already someone in the Federal Reserve, Adriana Kungler, has left. She's literally quit on the back of it, and he's probably going to go and, you know, work at BlackRock or something like that. But so if you want any coins looking at, any thoughts or opinions, even if they're meme coins, by the way, let me know. Drop it in the chat. We'll take a look at them and see what's going on. So we'll take a look. 𝗥𝗲𝗿𝗁, you guys are kind of talking about it. Again, I think 𝗥𝗲𝗿𝗁 is at a key level right now. Feels like it might have bottomed 𝗥𝗲𝗿𝗁. Again, on the short term, we do know, however, this asset can push a little bit lower if it wants to. This kind of 4.8 range feels like a pretty solid range on 𝗥𝗲𝗿𝗁. Where does it come down to? A little bit further than that, though. Your key level would be 4.3 if it was to break below that range. So the key thing to think about here on the 12-hour MACD is trending down, and it's 5.5%. So again, you kind of zoom back out and you see this kind of big support range here that comes over for 𝗥𝗲𝗿𝗁. I think this range that we wicked down to the 4.7 is a pretty solid range, though. So, you know, 𝗥𝗲𝗿𝗁 may already be on its re-move back to the upside. Yes, I do. I live stream every day except Saturdays. I don't live stream on Saturdays, which is tomorrow. If the market is like super crazy or there's like some really crazy news or whatever, then I might try and do a bit of a live stream. It might be on TikTok. But again, best way, follow me. That's how you know what's going on. And I'll keep you posted as to what's happening. Cardano is like pushing a caravan up a steep hill. Yeah, that's true. While having a really bad haircut as well and not very good clothes. That's how I would define Cardano. Ish. Look at who? 𝗥𝗲𝗿𝗁. Gaia. What the hell is that? What is that? Let me take a look at it for sure. 𝗥𝗲𝗿𝗁. I mean, it's pumping. I'm sure some coins out there are going crazy. This is up 17%. What even is it? I don't know what it is. It is ranked 1,150 in the whole market caps, though. But yeah, I mean, it's way down from its all-time high, by the way. Just FYI, it's down 65%. But yeah, I guess it's pumping on the day. I don't know anything about it. I don't know what it does. But yeah, still pretty far down. Anyway, I think ADA will surprise many. Look, I've talked about Cardano. I think it probably could as well. They need that stablecoin integration, though. If you don't get it, then yeah. Where's Cardano sitting right now? I think it pulls lower. I think Cardano at 71.55 is probably, you know, probably on its way back up. 70 feels like a key level for us. A break above where you're looking at now. 73 probably signals a slightly better push on Cardano. Maybe we get there. Thanks, Ponke. Ponke crushing it, by the way. I love it. Should we make Ponke? Should we make Ponke? Do you do moderating stuff? Do you want to be a moderator? I feel like you're crushing it down there today. SHX is up 2 bit. I hate you all. I hate you guys so much. Hate you guys so much. I don't care that it's up. I don't care. You know I don't care. Or maybe I can't make you a moderator. What? Can I not make you a moderator? You only allowed like 2 moderators. That's kind of annoying. Ponke, I'm gonna press a button here, but I'm hoping it's not gonna come up and say that like invite you on the stream or anything crazy, but I feel like it's not letting me do it. Or do I have to follow you back? Got you. There you go. And bosh, you're in. Ponke, you're in, baby. There we go. I think consolidate 69.72 for a few days. It'll be fine with that. Yeah, Drew. Hey, but do you still do marbles? Erasmo, not really. Not really. Something's cooking, but yeah, in terms of that, not at the moment. Not at the moment. British Coins A, XRD, and Cass been doing okay. Nice RPM. Our USD to Cardano incoming in my bet. Ooh, yeah, that would be interesting. All right, that could definitely work. That could definitely work. I think so. I think that could be a thing as well. So yeah, anyway, any coins you want to take a look at, then we can get involved and we can see what's going on with it. Jasmy, yeah, Jasmy's interesting as well. Loads of partnerships coming with Jasmy. No one's really talking about it. Feels like they're working hard in trying to bring some latest partnerships. I think Jasmy's probably going to come a little bit lower. Not what anyone wants to hear, but yeah, I would argue I think Jasmy's probably going to drop to here, about the 1423 range. Hopefully it can hold and consolidate there. It's broke through some key levels right now. And again, back to where we saw this. It's actually a really strong level for us at there. What we don't want to see is it lose that. Losing that probably sends us back down to 1321, and we don't want to get there. So I think Jasmy is a potential from a 1421 range. So look out for that. How far will Algo go down? Well, it's a great question. Let's take a look. What do we think? Algo is at a key level right now. 2355. We need to see Algo bounce from this level, is my opinion. You can see here, Algorand, if this bounces from this level, then I think you're probably okay. You can see here, this was strong resistance back in early July. We are now retesting that level. If Algorand is to break this, then it will be probably a sharp decline once again to the 2275s. You're probably looking at maybe 2146 as well. But I think if Algorand can hold where it is right now, you know, you might be in. The problem you've got is Algorand is in a downtrend hitting that. And again, what you can see here is specifically on Algorand, you can see it's actually retested this line over the course of the last probably 6 4-hour windows and managed to bounce off. So you could argue this is an incredible level of support. If this breaks, though, get ready. Algorand could see a significant further push to the downside, which, like I said, in my opinion, would be sitting somewhere around 2267, give or take. So, yeah. What have you... Hold on a minute. What the hell is that? Oh, you decided to pull. When you prefer to see me live again? Hey, let's go. I love it. You guys crushing it. Crushing that moderator jobs. Holmes, you said yes on my entire mana bag. Well, has anyone seen Craig? Is Craig here tonight? Does anyone know what Sand's doing? I mean, we probably should check on that. If anyone is invested in Sand as a portfolio, it's down nearly 6%, baby. It's down 6%. No, what the hell? If you guys remember me talking about Bonk as well, Bonks broke that down. I am now looking for an entry around 23.83 on Bonk. It's actually a little bit higher than that, in fairness. It's about there. To be honest, it's about 24.56. I think bonk could come down to there. I've got a long position set and a spot buy position set. Not financial advice, telling what I'm doing to grab bonk because I think that would be a discount from where it's been. So, yeah, to think Craig and I, we were talking about this just on the phone, and he was like, "Oh, I really want to get a position in bonk." I was like, "Bro, you need to just chill, like chill." And that was at this range. I think he actually got, what did he buy in at? 35? I think he did, or something crazy like that. That's the problem. Only one thing worse than sand, and that's quicksand. That's true. Craig is evaluating his crypto decisions quietly in the corner of the room. He's made some bad ones. What sells? I don't get the sell button. I only understand the short button. I mean, that's true. When alt season? I mean, not just at the minute. Not just at the minute. I'm messing with it, but it won't let me type a question. Oh, really? It's a bit weird, isn't it? JD, what's going on, pal? He is a FOMO king. He is. He loves a bit of FOMO. He loves it. What about Arena Z? Man, I've never heard of it, Nadar, but let's take a look. If it's not on CoinMarketCap, I don't care. Arena, what's it called? Arena-Z or Z. Oh, there we are. Man, it's down 3%. It's rebranded to Arena Z and undergone a 1-to-20 swap. What the hell, bro? What the hell have they done with this? It's a $29.72 million market cap, down 3%, and looks like a disaster. So, yeah, I don't know anything about it. It looks like something that I think Craig would invest in, but it's not for me, I don't think. I don't know what it is, but it looks terrible. The fact they've already done a rebrand or League of Kingdoms Arena. Okay, yeah, I don't know about this. Don't know about this one, but yeah, it looks interesting. What's going on, Vern? Good to see you, my man. Appreciate it. As always, good to see you checking in with us, bro. Always good to have you check in. Man, it's so expensive now, and days like it makes me feel old. Like I remember when it was $1, now $4. Everything's so expensive. Crypto, we got 22 prices. What's that for? He should follow Dr. Profit. Oh, we should check and make sure Dr. Profit's okay. Maybe he's like, I told you the market's going to zero. I sold everything. Yeah, of course you did. Let's take a look. Let's actually bring him up. I'm curious. You'll have everyone, all those, once again, complete shit show people that so many people follow, and they just shouldn't because they are full of crap. I'll be saying, I told you bear market here. Told you bear market here. Told you we're going freaking zero. Although maybe for once in his life, he might actually be right. Bitcoin was able to hit 120 with no Fed policy change, only following the expanding M2 money supply that is indeed rising day by day, fully ignoring the noise that the market is giving, holding as I'm expecting way higher targets in the coming weeks. And I am inclined to 100% agree with him as well. So bear in mind, we broke an all-time high on Bitcoin and we had 0 rate cuts and a 4% inflation. Like, think about that. So when those rate cuts come in and that money printer turns on, then, because I like Craig, do you know, like, how can I describe it? It's like when you shouldn't look at something, but you can't help yourself. You're like, oh man, I've eaten 4 out of this pack of 5 donuts, and that 5th donut is going, motherfucker, you better eat me before you go to bed. And you're like, oh, I just don't want to eat it, but you can't not think about it. That's kind of where I am with Dr. Profit a little bit. It's like, I don't really follow his stuff. I don't necessarily think he knows what he's talking about half the time. I just think he farms his Telegram group. But I can't block him because one day he might say something that I'm like, oh, that's, maybe. You know, it's like a weird sick fetish. Watch all these people that I guarantee if we just go and have a look and go through some of this list of people that I am sure are all jumping on the hype of going, the market's going to zero. Everything's crap. The bear market's in. I mean, this is another one of Holmes' favorites, by the way. Martini guy saying the entire market is falling apart. Yep, it's 2%, bro. 2%! We're all doomed. It's going to freaking zero, baby. You know, these doomers, the doom loopers, the mood hoovers that sap all of our bullish excitement out. They don't care. They're telling us we're going to freaking zero, baby. They're telling us we're going to zero. Yeah. Oh man, they're full of it. There'll be loads of them out soon. There'll be loads of them soon. So yeah, watch out. Watch out. All that matters is look at the macro and we'll see. I mean, the funny thing is Trump is obviously absolutely losing his mind. President Trump says Jerome Powell has rigged job numbers to make him look bad. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true. Trump, I mean, I wouldn't want to be in the White House now. Trump's obviously clearly like totally freaking out right now. Yeah, totally just like, oh my fucking God. 2% BTC, 18% altcoin effect. That's true. Yeah, there was. Yeah, I mean, there is true. There, that's true. Keep that face to yourself too, bit. There are worse ones. There are worse ones. But some alts are down 40% from 3 weeks ago, and there was so low anyway. JJ, that's true. You got to understand, though, this is the key bit to reference here. You just got to understand where we are in the market. So many people, I think, are kind of totally almost confused about where the market is. People have you believe the market's like nearly over. Yeah, we're in a relatively back end of the market. This could be like 3 months. We could literally pump 6% tomorrow. The Fed could come out on Monday and go, yeah, we got this totally wrong. We need to cut rates. Emergency meeting on Fed rates on Monday. They cut rates half basis points. All of a sudden, markets go, well, actually, I think an emergency rate would be a disaster actually right now. I actually think an emergency rate cut would be a disaster. They probably just need to hold their nerve and see where we get to over the summer months. But yeah, this could pivot quite quickly, I think, and rally very quickly as well. If rate cuts come in, then absolutely you are going to see money printing going on, which I think is going to be important. And that's kind of where we want to get to. Yeah, here's the official statement, by the way. Here's the official statement that came out from the Fed around 𝗦𝗲𝗿𝗀𝗿𝗄𝗏. By the way, she didn't actually vote against it, albeit maybe she didn't. But yeah, old 𝗥𝗲𝗿𝗄𝗏 here. This is her official note. I'm writing to notify you that I'm resigning from my position as the governor of the Federal Reserve Board effective August the 8th. It's been my honor of lifetime to serve the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve. I'm especially honored to have served during the critical time in the achieving the dual mandate, bringing down prices and keeping a strong, resilient labour market. The Federal Reserve does important work to help foster a healthy economy, and it's been a privilege to work towards that goal for America. I'm proud to have tackled this role with integrity, a strong commitment. I will always be proud of the important work I've done. Okay, nothing obvious there. I'll have to thank Chair Powell for his unwavering commitment. So think about this, though. Like, if you're Powell, you've got an over-budget building. Trump's been at senior and gone, you need to cut rates. You've not cut rates, and now you've got a fraudulent, dodgy employment numbers that's come in, which is a freaking disaster. So, yeah, I wondered if there was any, like, meetings being planned that maybe we weren't aware of. So, Monday, commercial page, foreign exchange rates, select interest rates, US global economy center about. Yes, there's nothing coming in. We need to keep an eye on this page. This might, this might be a little bit more interesting if anything comes out that is like, oh, we need to kind of get a bit of a meeting stuck in like pretty quick. Whether anything comes on this, we'll have to kind of wait and see. But yeah, I mean, Bitcoin's trying to rally back. You can see here, little green candle, or blue in my case. While I've been live, man, I missed loads of questions. I'm sorry. Buy H-bar, guys. It will be a top 5 very soon. What's going on? This is the bottom of the dip. I hope so. Crypto knowledge. Jack says halving in. No, Jack. That was 2024, baby. Jack, you need to make sure you are following the channel, because we can definitely help you out if you're brand new to cryptocurrency. By the way, definitely if you are brand new to the market, we'll support it. Because I've been looking for work for years, everyone I know can't find work every day. I hear a company dumping thousands of jobs, or 20, 40, 70% of the company. Yeah, so you must have been like, when they're coming in going, oh, 190,000 jobs put on the jobs market. You must have been going, what the fuck is going on here? Like, what the hell, bro? Turns out they were lying all the time. Turns out it was complete nonsense. Complete nonsense. Silent grunting homes don't want to wake the masses. Oh, it's a bit weird. Anyway, Jerome Powell treating us like China, the number of goods trust. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. What if this was all the bull run and the reason the coins haven't pumped is because there are millions of them? That's true. That's true. Ask yourself this. And if you just play it through, and by the way, it could be true, right? I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it might not be, because that would be, not true. But if you take a look at just some of the factors that would go into it, some of the indicators that you would look at, and yes, we now broke a couple of them where you go, well, yeah, we have actually officially broke all-time highs, but it would be the only bull market in history that hasn't hit any of the key metrics that are designed to tell us whether the market's overheated. The other thing to think about, when you see Bitcoin topping, RSI tends to be absolutely losing its freaking mind. It tends to be hugely oversold, hugely overbought. consistently overbought for like forever. And when you start to look in terms of a monthly, or even you go to 2 weekly, you'd be like, oh my God, we are super, super cooked on this. It's just nowhere near that right now. RSI's a little bit hot right now. Of course it is. We've seen a massive rally in the markets, but it's nowhere near where it was back in 2021. Like, nowhere near. Look at this. Back in 2021, this was kind of super crazy market, going absolutely insane. Look at some of this bullish momentum of the market cycle tops. We haven't been anywhere near that range. Not a chance. Even here, when we had that first market up, look at this. We're well below what that range looked like. So the argument is, could it be? Yes. Is it likely? No, I don't think so. Equally, you could argue maybe it goes into 2026, which is just crazy what everyone thought. I'm about to be a long-term holder when it hits $90. Interesting. My target for HBAR is $1. Nice. We're still not 18 months past the halving. That's true as well. What's going on, Blazer? Good to see you, buddy. Baphomet still doing pretty good entries. Yeah, what you have got, like I said, is a good entry. But my view, by the way, I'd sit and wait. Like, let's see what happens in the market. I don't necessarily think that there's a mass panic. It's the weekend, so you know that, you know, institutional flows and all that kind of stuff are going to be relatively stable, which should just give us a little bit of time to think about what's going on. The pie chart shows a top Q1 2027. I can see that happening. Just need patience. Yeah, look, Tim, I think a lot of people are in that boat. And, you know, the reality is that a lot of people are not comfortable with where we think the market's going to go. People just want Bitcoin all-time highs tomorrow. And, you know, that just simply isn't going to happen. Everyone just needs to chill the out. And then we'll be fine. Obviously, entries, entirety of views. I was... Okay. I don't know what's going on in the chat. Don't know what is going on in the chat. Crypto knowledge sold all my HBAR at 30 cents. Happy with that. Looking for the next gem. Nice. JJ, I like it. I like it. Too bad you should do a marble race at least once at the end of the show so we can... we'll do on Sunday. We'll do on Sunday. It'll be like a celebratory... we've survived the bear market attack of 2025. Tune in on Sunday. We'll do it on Sunday. How's that? Right. FYI, by the way, and I'm not saying this is anything to do with me. I'm not saying that this is the reason why, but Bitcoin's actually up in the last hour by 0.5%. Just saying. Just saying. I said XRP is going to fall under $3. I hate when I'm right. Yeah, I hate it when you're right as well. I don't like it either. None of us like it, Bits Blaze. Bred my younger years and marine and biochemist. I'd give you, I like San Diego, but your boy's college educated when you guys go. Don't know what that means. BC or top will happen in 27, but after 26 bear market. Oh my God, that is crazy. That is crazy. The 27, 28 top will be 10 million. I mean, Stardog, you are absolutely out of your mind, but hopefully. 24-hour stream, 2-bit to keep the pump going. I'll try. I mean, I could try. My missus might be a bit annoyed, but you never know. We can keep it dialed in. Just go and see it. Don't be weirded out, but Bitcoin's moved like 0.6 while I've been live. So I'm just going to stick live for the next like 3 weeks. Is that all right? She'll be like, what the hell are you talking about? What are you talking about? If I bought XRP on one exchange 3 years ago and then I open a new exchange and buy XRP there, but send to the same wallet, will it be short-term on one and long-term on another? What? Do you mean, what? On a spot position? So you bought... Is this a serious question? Is this actually a serious question? Curtis, is this a serious question, bro? I don't know what you mean. If I bought XRP on one exchange 3 years ago and then I open a new exchange and buy XRP there, but send to the same wallet, will it be short term on one and long term on another? What does that matter? It's just XRP. Can anyone? Am I just totally misreading this, or is Curtis absolutely off his head? I don't know what you mean by long term and short term. You would have held one long term and held one short term. Doesn't change what they are. Oh right. Right. Okay. Did I miss the tax bit? Right. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Doesn't care, by the way. Doesn't care. Doesn't care. The capital gains is exactly what you say. It's capital gains. It's a gain on your tax. So what you would have to do is probably, I think it would be the cumulative total. The best thing to do is just keep them in separate wallets, though. That'd be my view. So yeah, keep them separate. Then there's no confusion then. Don't forget, obviously, the new rules that are going to come in 2026 means that the exchange would send that data across. Now, you'll have obviously a DCA or a buy-in price that would be there, but my view would be keep them separate. Or get them in a decentralized wallet. So something like a Ledger Nano S or Ledger X, they can facilitate XRP, and then it doesn't really matter. And then you just work your way through DeFi, and the rest is, as you all know. So many people here, I like it. Tap that screen. What's going on, Bluezer? Yeah, we're crushing it tonight. 51 people looking super crazy in our live stream on TikTok. Let's go! People are uncertain of the markets. Now, we might be retesting 114 on Bitcoin right now. That would be good news. Nice little break above. Would give a little bit more confidence in the market. Again, if you just joined us, by the way, maybe it's his first time in this channel. I live stream 6 days a week trying to bring you the latest, greatest in cryptocurrency. I've been an investor in this market since 2017. And I also am live stream on YouTube where I've been for the last 3.5 years, amassing a cryptocurrency community of nearly 40,000 subscribers. What's going on in the markets today? Jobs report have come in, and it's coming very bad. Doubling down, though, you've had revisions for the previous 2 job market data to the sum of 258,000 jobs to a negative number, therefore indicating the economy is slower and that it's weaker than we've seen, which also, therefore, plays into the hands that the Federal Reserve did not cut rates when they should have done. They are officially late to the party. Jerome Powell, once again, is late. So that has caused a big old directional downside in the market as people start to be nervous. On the back of it, however, what it has brought in is 2 rate cuts, which simultaneously then makes people believe that we could see a recession. So that sort of brings you up to speed. There's nothing else outside of that. If the Fed had cut rates, which does lead the question, by the way, if he thought that this was coming, he probably should have cut rates. And you've also had someone of the Federal Reserve leave, which is never going to look good. Never. Danny, we're going to do one on Sunday, mate, so come and join us. Basically, I bought the bear, but I'm hoping to take profits this cycle from the bear account, and everything I buy now in another account so I can hold until next year. That's probably a sensible idea. HBAR has good partnerships, good market cap, good everything. Yeah, true. The lowest we will get to is 112.30. Yeah, I think we can go a little bit lower personally. So I've got 2 lines on my chart. 112 would be my first point, 112.047. If that breaks, 110.623 would be where I would get to. Hopefully, though, Bitcoin is finding a little bit of support. It's probably a good news story that we go into the weekend where we are, because we know that's not going to create too much of a concern. It's down to whether retail fancy buying the dip and what they assume is going to come in on the Monday reports. Bitcoin back above 114, though. So, good news. We're now only $4,000 away from where we were at about, 6 o'clock this afternoon. Jesus! It's wild. What's interesting, though, $4,000 correction is only like 1.58%. Think about that, everybody. Think about that. When we were at 90K, 4Gs was about 4.5%. Just saying. Redman Crazy, thanks for the follow. Hey, thanks for the follows, everybody. I appreciate it. It does massively help out the channel. Again, if you're bored and you're looking for things, you can take your fingers and you can tap my face with them. It's really therapeutic, actually. Really does support the the dexterity of hands and fingers. Just letting you guys know. Erasmus says, yeah. Too Late Jerome is living up to the name. Exactly that. Like, he is literally living up to that name. So, yeah, let's see. You're gonna want to get a bit of upside momentum, bit of volume coming in, few bullish people. You're gonna see a little bit of staggered selling on the way up. So, hopefully we can kind of see that. What do you think HBAR will get to in a year or two? We talked about this the other night. We priced HBAR in pretty aggressively, I think, when we talked about the 1618. I think we were up at like high 75s to maybe $80, I think we talked about. Yeah, so if you take HBAR, the 2618 is at 67 cents. The 3618 at 84 cents. Super crazy macro bullish at the 4.236 Fibonacci is basically a buck. So depends where you get to. My best price prediction right now, based on this market structure, would be somewhere between the 2618 and somewhere in the 3618, which would be, 3 to 4x on the current market structure. If HBAR starts to overcook and gets a bit more excited, then, you could definitely argue that we could see a little bit higher move on that one. But yeah. Do you have XRP? Yes, it's my second biggest holding. XRP. Pretty bullish on XRP. Lots of good news. Not today, though. Not so much today, but yeah. overall, I think, yeah, pretty okay news. I mean, XRP at 302 is looking like one of the better altcoins today. So, yeah. But yeah, if you don't know about XRP, I like that name. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. But yeah, and I also drop alpha content about XRP every single day on my YouTube channel. Link is obviously in the in my bio if you want to check it out. So yeah, Harry, thanks for the follow, man. Appreciate it. HBAR is managed by $1 trillion company, and yeah, still is under 100 billion. Yeah, make it make sense. Yeah, that's true. XRP doesn't have the best growth, though. Thoughts? I disagree with you. XRP doesn't have the best growth. In the last 6 months, it's done 5%. The last 3 months, 36%. Year to date, 45%. There isn't many altcoins that have done 45% this year. I'll tell you that for a fact. I'll give you an example. Cardano down 13%. HBAR, even that big move, down 7% in the last 6 months. Pick a altcoin, I'll tell you it's behind. Sui down 14% on the year. It's one of the best performing assets that we've got right now so far this year. So XRP is very much holding up pretty well. So yeah, XRP's done well. It's going to 100 million. All-time high for Polkadot, man. I just wouldn't even. I just wouldn't even have Polkadot. That's my opinion. But anyway, I've never owned it, and I don't intend on owning it either. So Polkadot is, what is it at now? $3.59. All-time high was $55. Jesus Christ, man. I mean, where do you even go to with Polkadot? Who the hell knows? Who knows, man? It's wild. Yeah, I mean, it's way down. Way down. 360. Even like the previous cycle, back into the year, $11. I mean, yeah. Let me tell you, if I didn't tell you what that coin was, chat, you'd think it was a meme coin. There's no way I'd be in Polkadot. Unless they've got something crazy. That literally looks like Mononoke, the meme coin. So, just my opinion. Just my opinion. We asked earlier if people really knew exciting times. True, ship on base or alien base, Dex on base. Nice. Nice. Personally, I think HBAR will overtake XRP. Ooh, wow. That is a big old statement. I mean, maybe it's true. Maybe it's true. Maybe it does. We'll have to wait and see. We will have to wait and see. But yeah, I mean, look. I say fingers crossed. When you just objectively look at the market, it's actually not that bad. And I know this sounds crazy. I know people are freaking out. And, you know, short-term holders will be absolutely dumping their bags like you wouldn't believe. SX checks up 15% today. Of course it is. Fine, let's look at it. Man, I hate you guys so much. You know, I cry most evenings because of this trade. Because Tim told me to sell. He was like, bro, you need to sell it. Get out of SHX. It's going to freaking zero. I'm like, no, Tim, I don't want to. And he's like, sell it, bro. So I sold it, and now look what's happening. Now look what's happening. Shouldn't have sold it, Tim. There you go. There you go. That makes me feel better. Right, you guys happy here? Good. Good. Cody says partnerships are elite for how early it is. Nice. Yeah, maybe I need to look at HBAR a little bit more. Hey, I was kind of in the world of, I talked about Algorand. That was one I've been discussing before it moved and giving my view on it. HBAR, by the way, was actually one of my altcoin picks for August. I do think HBAR is a big move coming in. Maybe I should have just released that video now, and then it would probably feel a little bit like I had a bit more of a chance of getting it right. But yeah, dry those tears, mate. Thanks, Tomato Pete. I appreciate you. Exactly, those company knows where to. Yeah, I mean that's true. Again, you've got some big money coming into the markets, and ISO 222 compatible coins. Very, very good news. So, like I said. V-Chain's up if anyone cares. Bonk's now up. Oh, Bonk looking like it's bullish. Those burns really making a difference. Go Bonk. Anyway, all crazy. Man, we just broke 1,000 views on TikTok. Let's go, baby. ENA. Yeah, I was looking at that earlier on. ENA at 1.65. Actually looking pretty solid as well. So, yeah, loads of stuff coming out. I think ENA's got quite a bit going on in their ecosystem as well. So, yeah, good news. Good news. Ethereum should do the thing, yeah. Payment solution in Africa. Man, Tim, yeah, you said about that one. I need to have a look at it. XTC adoption going wild. Don't miss it below 10 cents. Yeah, there's a lot of coins. SHIB on base. Did we look at that the other night? SHIB on base. I think we did actually. I was looking pretty bullish. What's it doing today? Is it this one? No. Can't remember. But yeah, I think when we did look at it, it was looking all right. It was actually looking kind of good. USD Flash available software too. Nice. Nice. I like it. Don't know what that means, but yeah. Sounds crazy. People don't listen, Tim. That's true. That is true. I would include myself in that category, but anyway. Anyway, everybody, that does bring us to the end of the show. As always, we are here 6 days a week, keeping you locked into the markets. We live stream at 4 p.m. Eastern. That's 9 p.m. UK every single day except Saturday. Again, maybe we'll see. We might do like a little emergency 30-minute, 45-minute stream, depending on what's going on in the markets. If there's something worth coming and talking about, I'll do it. What I will, though, commit to is you'll get content coming down on TikTok. You're going to get content on YouTube. It's going to be all over the place. So do make sure that you are going to be very much dialed in and very much all over it, which I think is important. And more importantly, making sure that we are dialed in as well. So definitely worthwhile thinking about. Crypto knowledge already done, bro. Yeah, it should have been yeeted. Which is good. Apparently, Shania Twain came into my live stream, and she said, "This is Shania Twain. Thanks so much for your support with my music career. I really appreciate it." Hey, Shania Twain, don't you worry about it. Don't you worry about it. As if Shania Twain came in. Wendy O, Shania Twain, they're all here. They're all here. Right. Anyway, so yeah, we'll be live once again. Look out for tomorrow. Make sure you dialed into all my social media platforms. That way you're going to get updated on what's going on. And then Sunday night, we'll be back as always, 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. UK to break the markets down. But where would I leave us? We need to see Bitcoin hold. I'd like to see a close above $114,000. That potentially, therefore, would signal if we don't, I would expect us to come down and retest $112,000. Be mindful. And Cody, top three, I'm going to leave you with XRP, Ethereum, Solana. On that note, I'm out of here. Thanks so much, everybody. Catch you on the flip side. Thank you.